Jason Todd's original origin, before being revamped, was similar to Dick Grayson's. Jason was used because after Dick became the leader of the Teen Titans, there was no Robin for Batman. It was becoming apparent that without Robin, there was no one there to be Batman's sounding board. Jason is the son of acrobats killed by Killer Croc, and he used his circus costume to fight crime until given a Robin costume by Dick Grayson. He was blonde but then dyed his hair black to become Robin in Batman number 368 in March 1984. He was cheerful and likable. He was later revamped, and his new origin had him as an orphan trying to steal his house from the Batmobile. Bruce Wayne sends him to a school for troubled youths, and he later earns the Robin mantle after helping Batman defeat a gang of thieves. Batman thinks that making Jason Robin would prevent him from becoming part of the criminal element, and instead he could channel his anger against the criminals. The new Jason was reckless and full of uncontrollable anger. He used lethal force against criminals and even used guns. He wouldn't listen to Batman and even almost choked Two-Face to death for killing his father. In the 1988 A Death in the Family storyline, Jason finds his real mother and Joker beats Jason with a crowbar. Joker leaves Jason and his mother in a warehouse with a time bomb. The bomb goes off and Batman arrives too late. Jason's mother tells Batman before she dies that Jason died trying to protect her. This death haunts Batman forever. The death was left in the reader's hands, as a poll asking whether Jason Todd should live or die ended with a slight margin towards killing Jason. Much media attention came with the death. People who didn't read the comics thought that they killed Dick Grayson, and there was a lot of hate towards the decision, with a lot of angry fan mail. Jason is later brought back to life in a very confusing way. Basically, Superboy Prime punches a wall or glass or something. After that, Talia al Ghul throws him in the Lazarus pit that Ra's al Ghul was using. After that, Jason is completely healed, but very unstable psychologically speaking. He's now an anti-hero and uses very lethal forces. Jason is important in the Batfamily because he's used as an example to tell them that any other Batfamily member can end up just like him if they go past the line of murder. He's used as their bad example or the black sheep in the family. He's also a constant reminder to Bruce that he can't slip up because one of the family members can pay the price. Batman still wants to help his bad son, even in his apparent death. That he leaves a message for Jason saying that Jason should get help and that it's Bruce's fault for trying to help Jason, that Jason has become the black sheep of the family, or the bad son. DC was unsure whether the readers decided to kill Jason because they wanted to see Batman as a lone vigilante, because they specifically hated Jason, or because they wanted to see if DC would really kill the character. But regardless, Tim Drake was introduced as Tim in Batman number 436, August 1989, by Denny O'Neil. Tim at age 9 watches Batman and Dick Grayson, Robin, fight Penguin. And Tim notices a gymnastic move Dick Grayson, Robin, does, which is the same that Dick Grayson used before he was Robin, during the Flying Grayson's circus act. Tim later notices the changes in Batman after the second Robin, Jason Todd, dies. Batman became more violent and reckless. Tim convinces Dick Grayson, Nightwing, to return to working with Bruce, and Nightwing agrees, keeping his Nightwing name. Tim stresses the fact that Batman needs an actual Robin, and gets the Robin suit to help Batman and Nightwing from Two-Face. He finally convinces Batman, with Dick and Alfred's help, that Batman needs a Robin. The villain Obeah Man captures Tim Drake's parents before he's officially Robin. While Batman tries to save Tim's parents from Obeah Man, Tim solves his first solo case in finding the hacker, Anarchy. Tim's father, Jack, is saved from the poison, but Tim's mother dies. Later, Tim saves Batman and Vicky Vale from the Scarecrow. After saving them, he's officially allowed to claim the mantle as Robin. But Tim chooses to redesign a costume. Batman then sends Tim Drake across the world to learn many different fighting styles, and to avoid another death in the family. At one point, he faces Joker alone and successfully defeats him, winning where Jason Todd failed. Tim Drake Robin joins other teen superheroes to create Young Justice, in which he becomes best friends with Superboy Impulse, later known as Kid Flash. After Young Justice disbands, he is asked to join the Teen Titans, and later becomes their leader, just as Dick Grayson Robin did before him. Tim has a relationship with the Spoiler, who is the daughter of the supervillain, Cluemaster. Spoiler tries to get her father back in jail and spoil his supervillain plans. Tim as Robin never reveals his true name and identity to the Spoiler. While Tim is away on a secret mission in Tibet, Batman approaches Spoiler and offers to train her. Batman also reveals Tim's identity, much to his dismay, and makes her train with Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, Oracle, and Oracle's Birds of Prey. She's later told to hang up her costume as she is unfit to be a hero by Batman. But Tim, Drake, and Spoiler continue to patrol and go on dates together. Tim apparently beats the occult hitman Johnny Warlock to death after he breaks Spoiler's leg. Batman tells Tim to hang up his cape for time after Johnny Warlock's death. Tim's father then finds out Tim's identity and threatens to reveal Bruce and Dick's identities as well, unless he stops being Robin. Batman then accepts Stephanie Brown, Spoiler, as a new Robin after she goes to the Batcave, demanding to be the next Robin. After disobeying orders, she is fired from being Robin and seemingly dies after being tortured by Black Mask and having surgery done to her by Dr. Leslie Tompkins, friend of the Batfamily. Leslie actually lets her die to send a message to Batman to no longer put children in harm's way. Batman then threatens her while telling her to leave town. Tim then knows that he needs to continue being Robin, and his father agrees. Tim's father is killed by Captain Boomerang, and Bruce officially adopts Tim Drake. But not before Tim Drake fakes legal documents and tricks Bruce into thinking that he has an uncle that agrees to take care of him. Bruce later figures it out and is proud of Tim Drake for being able to trick him. Bruce mentions several times that Tim Drake may surpass him at being the world's greatest detective. He also says that Tim is potentially smarter than he is. He even jokingly tells Alfred that one day, if Tim keeps it up, him and Alfred will have to work for Tim. Ha, nice. Tim later discovers that Spoiler is alive and back in Gotham. Leslie Tompkins faked her death. Tim and Spoiler search for Bruce after he goes missing during the Batman Rest in Peace storyline. After Bruce's apparent death, Tim takes on the role of Batman after Dick Grayson does not agree to being Batman. Later, Dick takes the mantle after taking down Jason Todd, and Tim is forced out of the Robin role. Damian, Bruce and Talia al Ghul's son, produced by Talia, drugging Batman and sleeping with him, becomes Robin. Yeah, that's sick, right? Tim tells Spoiler he's leaving town and becomes Red Robin to search for Bruce, who he believes is still alive. Tim Drake was also so popular as Robin that he is the first Robin to have an ongoing series and fight crime on his own. Tim is potentially smarter than Bruce, and Bruce even says that Tim will surpass him as being the world's greatest detective. Tim has become more like Bruce Wayne more than any of his other sons. He is important to the Bat family for obvious reasons. In a time when Nightwing and Batman were at odds, Tim got Nightwing to once again join Batman to fight crime. And even though it wasn't until after Batman asked Nightwing to substitute as Bat for a while after Nightwing finally mended his relationship with the Batman, Tim was not only able to figure out the identities of Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson as Batman and Robin, but he also figured out the identities of Huntress, Captain Marvel, and even Wally West Flash. He has a little brother relationship to Dick Grayson and a father-son relationship to Bruce. He's a pivotal character in the Bat family, as he may be the son that surpasses the father, as Bruce mentioned several times.